guys, today we're going to be changing out the flush valve and the fill valve on this commode. Stay tuned, I'll show you how it's done. Alright, one of the first things I do before I get started, I go ahead and remove the tank lid, and I'll go ahead and flush it, and then I'll start cutting the valve off. Then I can visually and also hear if any water is coming into the tank. For some reason, if you've turned that valve as far as you can off and water is still coming into the tank, you need to find a second source on how to cut the water off, whether it's a valve underneath the crawl space or even a water meter at the road. Either way, you'll need a second way to cut that water off before you start disconnecting the water lines. The next thing you'll need to do is hold open your commode flush lever, hold it open and drain as much water as you can out of it. Then I'll require a sponge to get the rest of it out. I just dip it down in there and just wring it out into the bowl. Alright, next thing I do is I'll use some Tupperware or a small bowl. I'll set it up underneath the valve because when we open this nut right here, you're going to have a little bit of water come out. And just let it drain into there. And just let it sit there. Alright, next there's going to be a nut right here at the base of the tank. We want to go ahead and loosen that. It should not be overly tight. Now if you have any more water in your tank, you didn't get it all, it will come out now. I fortunately got most of it out. And that will be the old one. Alright, for the next part, we're going to have to separate the tank itself from the bowl. These nuts right here, they're usually 1/2 inch in size. Some tanks have 3 of them, some tanks have 2 of them. But now we're going to unscrew these nuts, and that'll separate the tank from the bowl. Hey guys, now that we've got the nuts taken off to separate the tank from the bowl, I'm going to pull the tank off. This is what it looks like on the bottom. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this nut right here off, and that'll take the gasket and it'll allow the internal parts to come out. Alright, so I've got the flush valve pulled out. One thing you want to check on while you got this, these are your bolts that bolt from your tank to your bowl. Go ahead and inspect them, make sure they're not corroded. If they are corroded, they sell replacement kits at your local hardware store, so that's something else to look at. Alright, we're getting ready to put our new flush valve in. This is the new one. It comes in a box just like this. The first thing you want to do, you want to pull off your rubber gasket on the bottom. Go ahead and take this nut off. And underneath your flapper right here, it has a piece of protective cardboard that needs to come off as well. So this is going to go into the tank just like this. Then your nut will go on. Then your rubber gasket will actually cover the nut. I'll show you what it looks like. Next, we're going to install a fill valve. You'll have the fill valve itself. Have a rubber gasket and a nut. The rubber gasket goes on first. Slides on. It'll go through the hole in the bottom of the tank. Then your nut goes on. Hand tight should be plenty tight enough. Okay, next we'll be installing the tank bolts. You have your bolt. You'll need to put a rubber washer on it. We'll put it through the tank itself. You'll put a washer, then a nut. And this will be repeated on all 3. Now that we've got our tank bolts installed, we're ready to put the tank on top of the bowl. We just line up our bolts. Okay, from here, we're going to do a rubber washer, a metal washer, and a nut. And we're going to do the opposite side. We like to keep the the tank balanced. Okay, now that we got the tank bolted onto the bowl, we're going to go ahead and install the fill clip. The fill clip actually sits on top of the overflow. Then a tube actually runs to an inlet here on the side of the fill valve. That's all it takes. Okay, this chain that's on the flapper, it's designed to be able to be adjustable. So I've adjusted it to there. Then we're going to put it on a hook here on the lever. There we go. So when we press the handle, the flapper comes up almost all the way. All right. On now to hooking up the water supply. All right, the last thing we need to do is hook the water back up. So we're going to take this same water supply. You want to make sure you don't have any kinks in it when you hook it back up. It needs to be just good and snug. It does have rubber gaskets in it, preventing any leaks. And now we're ready to cut the commode back on. Now, this cutoff valve right behind the handle is a little nut. It's called a packing nut. Sometimes when you're using your handle on and off quite a bit, it might start leaking right here. All you have to do is just take an adjustable wrench and just tighten that packing nut up, and I'll solve that problem. All right, the tank is now full. You want to do a test on it? Hey guys, this would be a good time to check with a paper towel or something of that nature between the tank and the bowl. Make sure there's not any leaks. If there is any, you can tighten with the bolts from underneath. Also inside the tank here, you actually have an adjustable screw. You can actually raise or lower your float. It'll bring the water level up or down. Inside the tank, there'll be a fill line, so you can make that adjustment as needed. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something here. If you would, like, share, and subscribe. I hope you have a great day.